Every 4 years, something happens to Bitcoin that most people get completely wrong. It's called the halving. Some say it's the most important event in Bitcoin. Others say it's just a technical detail. Both are missing the point. The truth is simpler and more interesting than either take. I'm Sats, and today we're making the Bitcoin halving actually make sense. Let's keep it simple. To understand the halving, you need to understand one thing first. Where does new Bitcoin actually come from? Here's the quick version. Miners are powerful computers that compete to add new blocks of transactions to the Bitcoin blockchain. The first to solve the puzzle adds the next block and receives a reward in newly created Bitcoin. That reward is the only way new Bitcoin enters the world. When Bitcoin launched in 2009, that reward was 50 Bitcoin per block. A new block arrives roughly every 10 minutes. That's a lot of new Bitcoin flowing into existence every single day. But here's where it gets different from every currency that's come before it. That reward doesn't stay the same forever. Roughly every 4 years, it gets cut in half. That's the halving. That's literally it. Now, the first time I heard that, I assumed it meant the price would get cut in half too. It doesn't. And that's probably the most common misunderstanding about this whole thing. The halving is not something that happens to the price. It's not something that happens to your existing Bitcoin. It's something that happens to the rate of new supply. The only thing that changes is how quickly new Bitcoin is being created. Your coins are completely unaffected. The network keeps running exactly as before. Just the pace of new supply, cut in half. Okay, so why does that actually matter? Because it's the mechanism that enforces the fixed supply. And this is the part that I think doesn't get explained clearly enough. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. You've probably heard that. But most people, when you ask them how that cap is actually maintained, can't really answer. It's not just a number someone wrote down. It's enforced mathematically through the halving schedule. Every 4 years, the creation rate slows. Every 4 years, fewer new coins enter the market, until eventually it reaches zero. No government can change this. No developer can override it. No company can print more. Actually, let me sit on that for a second, because I think it's easy to hear that and nod along without really feeling how unusual it is. Every currency that has ever existed in human history could be expanded by whoever was in charge of it. Kings, governments, central banks, they've always had that lever. Bitcoin is the first time in history where the supply schedule is written in code and the entire network enforces it. Nobody has the lever. It doesn't exist. Now, what does the halving actually mean for miners day to day? Because this part often gets skipped over. When the reward halves, miners suddenly receive half as much Bitcoin for doing exactly the same work. That's a significant hit to income. The inefficient ones, old hardware, expensive electricity, get squeezed out. The efficient ones survive and keep the network running. And here's the bit I find genuinely clever. The network handles this automatically. When miners leave, the difficulty of the puzzle adjusts downward. Fewer miners means easier puzzles. The 10-minute block time stays consistent regardless. Nobody coordinates this. It just self-corrects. Then there's the longer question that comes up. What happens when the reward eventually reaches zero? How do miners get paid then? Transaction fees. Every Bitcoin transaction includes a small fee paid to the miner who processes it. As the block reward shrinks over the coming decades, fees gradually become a larger share of miner income. The system is designed to transition slowly from reward-based to fee-based security. Not overnight. Over about 100 years. Okay, here's the thing I want you to take away from all of this. Bitcoin's supply schedule is completely predictable. You can calculate exactly how many Bitcoin will exist at any point in the future. No other asset in the world offers that. Gold miners might find a new deposit tomorrow. Central banks can expand the money supply with a policy meeting. Bitcoin follows a schedule that nobody can alter. You know exactly what you own as a percentage of the total that will ever exist. And that percentage can only go up over time as Bitcoin is lost to forgotten wallets and lost seed phrases. It can never be diluted by someone deciding to create more. The halving is the heartbeat of that system. Every 4 years, a reminder that the supply is finite, the schedule is fixed, and nobody is in charge of changing either of those things. All right, let's make sure this lands clearly. The Bitcoin halving cuts the mining reward in half roughly every 4 years. It controls the rate at which new Bitcoin enters circulation and enforces the fixed supply of 21 million. It doesn't affect your existing Bitcoin. It doesn't change the network. It slows the pace of new supply. The last halving was April 2024. The next is expected around 2028. Bitcoin's supply schedule is completely predictable, written in code, enforced by the entire network. Nobody can change it. That predictability is the point. If you want to understand how miners earn that reward and why their work secures the entire network, the mining video covers that in full. Watch that next. Stack smart, stay curious, see you in the next stack.